Good morning and welcome to San Diego. On today's adventure, I'm going to be showcasing some of the coolest things to do in San Diego. Now, a lot of these places you've probably heard of, maybe you've even been to before, but I'm also going to go to some places that are maybe a little less known and going to have some pretty cool adventures. If you enjoy travel, adventures, and just visiting new places, this video is going to be for you. Let's see what fun we can get into today here in San Diego. The first stop today is going to be at Coronado Island. So Coronado Island is just on the west side of San Diego, and it's actually where the Navy SEALs are stationed and doing all their training. So this would be such a cool place to do training. Now, don't get me wrong, what they have to do is crazy and a ton of work, but this is a really cool place. This island is full of just walkable places. You can walk along the beach, you can walk to restaurants and stores, and they have all these cool little condos and houses and bungalows all over this island. So it is a really cool place to just get out and walk around. Behind me right now is the Hotel Del Coronado, which was built in 1888. It's had many different presidents stay here before. In 1935, FDR said that this was the Western White House and one of his favorite places to come visit. What's crazy about this place is it's so nice, and this lawn, this yard is so meticulously taken care of. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be standing on it. Thankfully, I saw some other people come out on the grass, so I was like, I think it's okay, but the grass is so nice here. You're not sure if you're supposed to walk on it, but this place is super legit, right on the water. It's pretty cool. Something worth noting is the Hotel Del Coronado is super luxurious and nice, so it's very expensive to stay at, so that's something to keep in mind. Also, another thing to keep in mind is the whole bottom floor is basically shops and stores and coffee shops and eating places, restaurants, things of that nature. So if you did stay here, you would have a lot of people coming in and out of your hotel. Now, I'm sure the levels with all the rooms and things like that are way more private, but that is something worth noting if you ever did want to stay here, is there is going to be a lot of activity at your hotel. Something I really like about Coronado Island is the architecture of all of the houses. Like, all these houses have so much character to them. A lot of them are older, but clearly well maintained and restored. And the landscaping is just super nice and incredible. I'll give you an example right there, but all these houses, and they're right on the water. It's pretty cool. Where I'm standing right now is one of the main roads through Coronado Island. And as you can probably see behind me, there's a lot of restaurants, there's shops, a lot of different touristy type places you can go to. So if you're into just going to stores, sitting at a restaurant, taking it nice and easy, this is a really cool place. And we're only a block or two from the beach itself. So a very popular place to come in Coronado Island. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm not going to stay here long because I'm going to get to the more exciting, adventurous things for the day. Right now, I am in downtown San Diego, and I'm walking towards the waterfront portion of the downtown area. Something that is worth noting is there is a whole lot of things to do in San Diego, and I definitely do not have time to do all of them in just one day. So if you're going to come here, you definitely could use quite a few days just to see everything. I'm just trying to hit some of the key highlights today, but a couple places I want to shout out as noteworthy places in downtown that I'm not going to go to today is you should go to a game at Petco Park. That is the baseball stadium here. That is one of the coolest baseball venues in the country. So if you like baseball, and even if you don't, it's honestly a really cool stadium. Another area is the San Diego Zoo. It's like world renowned, so if you're into zoos, definitely a good option while you're here. And then another thing is the Balboa Park area. That is like a cultural area, tons of museums. So again, you could spend a lot of time there. I'm not going to do those things today, but I am approaching the waterfront area, and we're going to be looking at the USS Midway. Behind me here is the USS Midway, which is an aircraft carrier that was built in 1945 for World War II. Ironically, the carrier was completed 1 week after the war officially ended, so it was never used for World War II, but it was used in military service, and that's what it was designed for. At the time it was built, it was one of the largest aircraft carriers in the entire world. You can actually do a tour of the entire ship. It's now a museum, and you can take numerous hours, 3-4 hours just to go through it. It's a massive museum. I have previously done that on a trip to San Diego, and it's really cool, especially if you enjoy history. I would really recommend it. I'm not going to do that today on this video, but if you're in San Diego, if you enjoy history, you definitely need to take a tour of the USS Midway. Honestly, if you enjoy history, and specifically military history, San Diego is a really, really great place to come. So I am currently walking back to my car, and I'm going to be leaving the downtown area now. It might seem like on this video I didn't spend much time in the downtown area. While that is somewhat true, there is a lot of crosswalkings that I have to stop and wait because of city traffic, and so it does take a whole lot more time to walk through the downtown area compared to Coronado Island and some of the other places. But the other reason is I am excited to get to the next places, which are a whole lot more isolated, far less touristy, and I think they're places that more people should visit while they're in San Diego. So I'm excited to get to those places, which truthfully is a lot more my style. So I am now at Cabrillo National Park, which is at the very tip of the Point Loma Peninsula that shoots out into the Pacific Ocean. So in my opinion, this is the best view of San Diego that you can get, because right over here you have downtown behind you, you have the bay right there. Off in the distance, you can actually see some mountains. And then on the other side, I just have to walk over there just a hair, but you have the Pacific Ocean right there. You can see it in all of its vastness and glory. And then right over here, maybe the best part, we have all these like energy power lines or something. So yeah, this is a great view of this right here. All jokes aside, I love Point Loma, this Cabrillo National Monument area. It really does give you amazing views. Those power lines aside, the views up here really are spectacular. This lighthouse here was constructed in 1855, so it's pretty cool. You can go inside of it. You can see a little bit of it. You would understand why they would put it here, because like I said, you have the bay here, you have the city, and then right over here on the other side, you have the Pacific Ocean. So you really do have incredible panoramic views from where this lighthouse would be. So as you can see behind me right now, these are some tide pools here. And whenever the tide is low, you can actually walk a good ways over there. And supposedly there's a secret sea cave over there that you can reach at low tide. Now, you're not allowed to do it technically. I think it's illegal. So even if the tide was lower, I probably wouldn't go over there, or at least that's what I'll say on the camera. But at the current tide level it's at, it wouldn't even be possible at the moment. Something interesting that I'm noticing is there is pools of water up here, meaning the water that's way down there at some point got up here. So high tide, it must get really, really high. So we're probably more at like a medium depth of tide at the moment. I don't know what that's called, but I know it's definitely not low tide because like I said, we cannot get over to that secret sea cave right now. As I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to cram in a whole lot of things into one day here in San Diego. But at all of these places that I've been to so far, you could stay for hours and really enjoy yourself. And honestly, I would probably spend the most time here. Now, obviously, I am biased towards outdoorsy nature things, but this is really cool here. It's also just so peaceful. I mean, pretty much all you hear is the crashing of the waves here and nothing else for the most part, which I absolutely love. There's also a bayside trail that basically goes around the entire peninsula. I believe it's 2.5 miles. When I say the entire peninsula, I just mean this little end part. So you could definitely do that, which I'm not doing today, but that's another thing you could do here. So definitely recommend coming here if you're in the San Diego area. All right, so the last stop for today is I'm going to be doing this trail that is supposedly supposed to be like a secret trail to a secret beach. Some people call it the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Some people call it the Saigon Trail or Saigon. I'm not sure which one. But my first initial thoughts driving up to this is, first of all, you're just driving through like a super upscale, luxurious neighborhood with random street parking on the side. So it's kind of interesting leading up to the trail. I guess this kind of just weaves in between these like amazing mansions on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. But secondly, is there's way more cars here than I expected. So I'm not sure how secret of a beach it actually is. But I'm also seeing a lot of people walk with surfboards. So I was looking it up and apparently there's some incredible surfing down here. So that should be pretty interesting. The thing about this trail is it's not long whatsoever, but it's insanely steep and there's some huge drop-offs and it's kind of technical, kind of dangerous, and that's what really drew me to it. So we'll see if I can get down it. I think I should be able to. My other thing is, honestly, I'm getting a little bit of a time crunch now. So I have about 45 minutes to do this because I've just been all over San Diego today and I got to get up to the LA area this evening for something. So I got to get after this quickly. Hopefully it's really cool and I guess we'll see how it is. But the other thing I want to say is we got really fortunate because there's all these cars everywhere and people walking from way away, and literally someone pulled out right across from the trailhead as soon as I got here. So I'm literally right next to it. So should be fun. We'll see how this goes. Okay, that probably did not look very steep, but that was deceptively steep where you had to walk super slow. Otherwise, it felt like you'd slip and then just all your momentum would go forward. Yep, there we go. I should probably quit talking to the camera right now. One of the problems is there's so much sand that this becomes like super slick. So there's not good traction out here. The other thing is, I actually wish I had my trekking poles on this because it would help stabilize so much. But I would also feel like such a goober having trekking poles on a hike that's literally 0.7 miles round trip. So it is what it is. I understand now why people say it's like a secret trail, even though it appears a lot of people know the secret. Like, this is just like overgrown, like everything, and it's this crazy small trail. So right now I keep switching from walking like in the riverbed or creek bed, whatever you want to call it, to going on top of these little bluffs. I don't know which one's better. Here, the water's pretty deep, so I probably should go up there, but this is very unique. Right now, what I'm trying to decide between is, in theory, it's probably better to go up here, but it's very slick. And so I don't know if it's better to go into kind of like that canyon, but there's a lot of water down there, but maybe you could stay dry. I'm not 100% sure. This is seriously so unique because look, now we're about to have to go through legit slot canyons. I don't think there's any way to stay up high. I think I have to drop down into that. Okay, I had to try several different routes, and honestly, it got pretty dangerous where I had to put my camera up because I just needed to safely do it, but that was really cool.
Oh my god!
So I had to put my camera away for the last section of that because honestly, it got very sketch and pretty dangerous, but I did make it down, and this place is awesome. I understand now why they call it a secret beach, because in every direction it looks like you're just walled in by these mountains, but you have this little beach here. It's a private little area, and the place we came from was that gully, so we came all the way down from up there, and it was very slick, it was loose, you had to do a lot of scrambling, there was ropes at the end, but that was really, really cool. I'm so glad I came down here. This is maybe the coolest little beach area I've ever been to. Absolutely cannot recommend coming down here enough if you're willing to do that sketch little hike to get down here. So I just got back to my vehicle, but that trail was legit awesome, absolutely incredible. I almost turned around at a couple points because I was cutting it close on time, and honestly, I'm going to be really rushing to make my event in the LA area, but absolutely worth doing that trail. So cool. It wasn't the longest trail, like I said, but it took a little while, a lot of hard work, and the payoff was incredible. I would say I've done a lot of trails, but in terms of bang for your buck, so to speak, that was one of the best I've done for the amount of miles you go, but just what you get in such a small sample size or short period is absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend this trail enough. That will wrap up my day here in San Diego. Again, there's so many more things you can do. Right now I'm near Torrey's Pine State Park. That's also an amazing place to hike. I'm near La Jolla, which is some upscale fancy shops and restaurants and things like that. You can see a lot of sea lions there, so another cool place to go. So the idea of this video was just to give a little bit of a sampler of some of the awesome things to do in San Diego. I would say this hike I just did, and then the Cabrillo National Monument, those were by far my two favorite. And so if you're in the area, if you like adventure, if you like outdoors, you absolutely have to try those two things. Thank you guys so much for watching. It would really mean a lot to me if you like the video and leave a comment down below. If you would subscribe, that would be amazing. I'll see you in the next video.